Welcome back to Bronze League Heroes with, of course, 2 Terrans. In the top left with the red SCV pieces, Chilonge. I don't know why I did that. I feel like that's a sit. Chilonge. Okay. Winter, why is your face on the screen? I want to see the game. You're covering 4% of the screen, and I'm watching very closely how they build 2 depots early. How dare you? On both sides. But on the other side, able to port his username straight off of Xbox Live. It is DeathOmen. Both sides walling off to deny scouting, but simultaneously preventing, well, delaying anything that could be scouted. Unfortunately here, DeathOmen's just going to walk in because Chilonge just... Oh, and there it is. The engineering bay at the 1-minute mark. Just got to maintain that safety. Raise the TPM. You can't build turrets all day if you don't start in the morning, as the saying goes. Oh. You're trapped. You can't leave. SCV. SCV says, well, guess what? I'm not locked in here with you. I am fully licensed to build a barracks wherever I may please and do have access to the resources. So therefore, I deem it necessary and wholly agreeable to build a barracks within your main. And now we wonder why he sent the SCV across the map. He always just monologues. It's super annoying. Now, out of sight, out of mind, Chilonge has no idea where that SCV went. Or does he? He's found it. But will the barracks finish? Oh, the Marine? Wait. I don't know, maybe... There's a small chance that there was the thought process of, well, now I'll just kill... He'll waste his money on anything that comes out of the barracks. Because I'll just kill it with my Marines. And I mean, technically correct. Technically correct. What a big brain play out of Chilonge. Really, that'll cost DeathOmen dozens of minerals in the long run. But also, he will get a total scout, which was kind of the point of walling off. So, little bit column A, column B. The Marine is just giving him the runaround now. Come on, come on. Didn't they give you a stim pack in the barracks? No, that's on the tech lab. Why do we even have this? He's inspired, though. +1 infantry weapons. And all 4 of those Marines are going to... I take it. 3 of those Marines are going to be decked out. The elite squadron. Double starport for Chilonge. 2 factories, 2 barracks, and 2 starports. The classic 2-2-2 build. Straight out of Big Game Hunters. And 2 depots at a time, as is customary. Or one after another. That's also another option. Stim on the way. +1 about to finish up. We got a starport and a barracks from the only licensed SCV to construct large production facilities. The Marines are converging on the ramp. The barracks is as well. The dramatic conclusion of minutes of effort. 1 Marine gunned down, but the other 2 pull back. A 3rd one on the top of the ramp. But it appears at the end of the day, 3 is indeed more than 2. And he does have the high ground. DeathOmen defends. Meanwhile, a command center. The TPM begins to raise as both sides settle in. And maybe, potentially, we're starting to see the first inklings of a retreat into their shells. As these Terrans rely on their natural instincts. Which is, of course, to build siege tanks, planetary fortresses, turrets, and then eventually figure out who's going to get a dozen battlecruisers. Place your bets now, and then tell me if you were right. No skipping! Watch all the ads, alright, in the middle of this video, which will be, I'm just gonna ballpark it, 1.5 hours long. What is our record? An hour and like 40 minutes, I think. Will it beat it? I don't have any idea. All I know is FFT Private, one of our esteemed and well-qualified judges of the Bronze League Hero submissions, and by that I mean he knows how to download a replay and says this was a pretty cool game, you should give it a shot, has deemed it worthy, and therefore we are here. A scan, but oh, he doesn't have the energy for a counter scan. Disaster. A Vendaya scan. Just making sure he gets knowledge of everything. Little does he know that is indeed high-sec auto-tracking. Combat shields on the way. As both sides work their way up. It now begins the Cold War, but oh, he dropped a mule. How is he going to counter scan? Is he building a second orbital? Oh no. How are you going to have a planetary at your natural if you're focused so much on your economy? These players are going to have a lot of questions to answer, but I'm sure we'll have plenty of time with which to do it by the time this SCV finishes up with 4 more turrets. Who will have the highest TPM? We got 4 turrets for DeathOmen. Only a single turret thus far for Chilonge, putting DeathOmen with a significant TPM lead. But slow and steady, as goes the story with the turtle, wins the race. As Chilonge, 1 turret at a time, is raising his TPM and will end up with 5. Wait, no, DeathOmen not having any of it. His TPM is also raising. The race begins. He's up to 6 and counting. And also then 2 more depots and a starport. A scan. I don't know who scanned. Both players are pretty low on energy. But a double medevac timing. This is a timing attack. Timed out perfectly to attack when it is timed out. Now, unfortunately, there will be sensor towers. Smart servos on the way, which allows the quick switching of many transformer units, which are most mech units, except for things like siege tanks and liberators. Thors can go into their high impact mode for that single target. Hellions can become the waddling penguin that is Hellbats. Vikings can reenact the Heart of the Swarm trailer. And, nope, that's it. That's it. That's all of them. Meanwhile, the contain begins. You don't want to get too greedy. 3 siege tanks. But a Raven. Is he going to move forward? Is he going to move back? He says, maybe that's I'm going to move out of sensor tower range. He'll never expect me to be right at the edge. Very subtle. The incredibly soft, almost philosophical contain from DeathOmen, putting his black mark upon the map. The upgrades, +1/+1 completed for DeathOmen. High-sec auto-tracking, stim, combat shields, concussive shells, and smart servos, which sounds like a AI-generated band name from Chilonge. Oh, the double auto turret, the not-so-friendly fire. Kills DeathOmen. Anti-armor missile. Those Marines have both low armor and low self-esteem. But here comes. Everybody knows there are only so many late game units you're allowed to build in this matchup, or as Terran in general. You've got your Thors, which have already been covered by Chilonge, which leaves him only one option: battle cruisers. Fusion core is nearly complete. The TPM, we're at 8 turrets for DeathOmen, 9 for Chilonge. Both of them close to 1 TPM, but not reaching above it. So we haven't reached reached full Bronze League Heroes levels yet, but there's still plenty of time, I'm sure. 2 more Thors. The Thor count. Gonna quickly be passing 4s. And he's gonna get mores. The philosophical contain continues. Liberator's on the way. The Fusion Core could very... He's done a great job of protecting his starports with those depots in case of SCV attack. But Chilonge is escalating. He's also building a Fusion Core. A scan. A scan spotting the contain. Meaning that both sides... Is that what I think it is? Advanced ballistics. For Liberator range. Now that is a pro-gamer tactic. The liberation zones with that extra distance. It's unclear whether Chilonge is going to be capable of dealing with that. Another auto turret. Does he have energy for a second? The tank doing almost as much damage as the turret. Down another tank goes! The proxy wars continue. Both sides surprisingly even in supply. Both on 2 bases. Both desperately struggling forward. DeathOmen had 69 actions per minute, which is pretty nice. Now even getting high. Oh, here comes everybody! Here comes the neighborhood! There's only 2 tanks. One goes down immediately. The Raven as well. The Liberator's gonna pull back. 1 tank stands, but the Thors are here, and they will pound their way through. Chilonge clears the contain. L, O, and give me another L on your forehead because you just lost that whole fight. You loser, says Chilonge. Implied. Of course. More like Thorhead. Missed opportunity. Battle cruiser on the way as well. But the TPM is going to prevent any Liberators from getting around easily. DeathOmen, while he does not have as much supply, he does have Liberators and tanks, which are going to make things difficult. We're going to call in the fleet. Both sides building battle cruisers. Another Raven leads the charge. More Marines behind it. Another base from Chilonge, a 3rd base. A rare sight, but a welcome one. The tanks. More barracks. The defensive depots. And now we build up to another potential... A scan. He finds the natural. There's no army there. He sees the 3rd. And oh, he sees the front. Unfortunately. Oh wait, there's another scan. There's no army there. Let's go to the DeathOmen action cam. All he sees is darkness. And even when he brings the light, there is nothing there.
Mineral field depleted.
A Raven throws down a turret. That doesn't last long. Chilonge sees where the army is. He sees another scan. It sees a bit of a Thor. Let's go to the DeathOmen action cam. The TPM, will it raise? He will replace, or maybe...
Add-on complete. Completely mined out of it.
Oh! He sees him. Yeah, I got you. I see you. You walk away, he says. With conviction. There are battle cruisers being built. Are they both hiding their battle cruisers? Chilonge, not so subtle about it. He has one battle cruiser joining up with the army. DeathOmen appears to be more strategical. As we could see from the early contain. Now from the constant intelligence gathering from the scans, which leaves him at however much intelligence he gathered from the scans. And the bladed battle cruisers. It's very important to have blades on your battle cruisers, so that way when they fly by things, they can cut them, which is advanced technology. Get me closer to the mutas so I can slice them with my blades. Very important. Good job, Mirahan, on that. Is that what I think it is? Rapid reignition... Yes, that's the name now. Rapid reignition systems for the medevacs, which is, of course, as everyone knows, for the lowered cooldown on the medevac boost, which is something that Chilonge has really been utilizing in his imagination. Corvid reactor as well. Honestly, it looks like we're just checking off all the open boxes. As the army continues to prowl, as it does, throughout. He's got all the key units. He's got Thors. He's got battle cruisers. He's got more Thors. But as always, it looks like it's going to come down to the battle cruisers. What's the battle cruiser count? We got 5 for DeathOmen. We got 4 for Chilonge, who's only building 1 at a time. What are the upgrades? +1 ship weapons against +1 mech armor now completed for Chilonge. Armor very good for those battle cruisers, especially against other battle cruisers, because battle cruisers attack very fast against battle cruisers and also everything else. The scan. Another scan. The darkness. The map is dark and full of Terran. DeathOmen. Wait, is this the... No, this is the Chilonge cam. With a single SCV and a lot of work to do. Back to the DeathOmen action cam. Oh, no. No! No! Okay, he's back. He was just contemplating. Okay. He's retreated back into his shell after his attempt at a contain. But he might be down in supply. But he's not yet out. Chilonge is really getting the world tour. He's getting his steps in today for the Thors. Thors, of course, much like the Apple Watch, is very expensive, probably overrated, and well, people are very elitist about it. They have a whole fantasy if you look at the balance notes. What am I gonna do? Build a Hellbat or a siege tank like a pleb? No! Thor! Big-ass robots. What is the point of playing this game if I don't build every unit that costs 6 supply or more? This is a turret contained so far for Chilonge. It's just kind of a forward outpost. The Liberators are going to siege. He creates a perimeter. And the crazy train continues across the map. The Chilonge line, as it is known, continues to saunter across. The TPM continues to race. 14 to 12 turrets. Still under 1. How many turrets have been lost? None. Not a single building has been lost. If you don't count those auto turrets. I don't think even auto turrets count themselves. Is that a planetary on the way? Of course it is. The worker counts in the dozens. The APMs as well. Oh no, DeathOmen! Back to the action cam. Do we have a counter scan? Will DeathOmen let that scan go unanswered? He's
Upgrade
waiting.
is ready for
Any
use.
moment now, he will finish the upgrade and begin a new
Command
one.
center has been
Yes.
upgraded.
The battlecruiser's waiting for their moment. Little do they know. All hands to battle stations! Here are the battlecruisers! Is there a response? Now is the time! A wave of Yamato cannons! Things are gonna escalate very quickly. Where are the cruisers? He calls out. There it is! The Thors are not in single target mode. Do they have Yamato? They do. But, oh, the Thors switched to high impact mode. He knows. But they have to come down the ramp. There are still some defenses. Yamato on the return. DeathOmen a little late on the reaction. But the Liberator siege tank and, of course, just straight battlecruiser count. They do have a lot of... The weapon and armor upgrades are pretty good for DeathOmen. But those Thors with their high impact mode hit real hard. They punch right through that armor. They have a great penetration capacity, if you would. There are turret outposts. Chilonge embracing the TPM. He has just passed 1 TPM. We have fully... Well, this is a fully fledged Bronze League Heroes match. This is the epitome. The match that when you think of Bronze League Heroes, do you think of cannon rushes? You think of trash talk, but of course, you think of the TPM. 2 Terran players hitting each other as hard as they can, and then after they take a swing, falling over and sitting in a corner for 15 to 20 minutes until they're ready to start trash talking again after building dozens of turrets. 25 turrets are done. We are over the 1 TPM mark here. DeathOmen hasn't yet caught up. The Vendaya scan. Where are the counter scans? Everybody knows how important that is. No counter scans yet. He's just holding his ground. What is the battlecruiser count? 11 for DeathOmen. Only 6 for Chilonge. But he does have a dozen Thors, so we will see. More scans. Yep, he's just really making sure that those units are there. Battlecruisers. +3 and +3 are about to finish, but the Yamato cannon don't... He jumps. Not incredibly far. The battlecruisers now going to return fire. The Thors are here, really laying the damage into it. Away we go. Battlecruisers exploding on both sides. There's not much on the ground for support for DeathOmen. He's all in on these cruisers. If he can get over the top of those Thors, and if there is an anti-armor missile, then there might be a dream here. Battlecruiser on battlecruiser action. It's going to come down to who's more reliant on cruiser control and who's going to be manual. Did Chilonge floated his main and now is floating his natural because he just can't afford more command centers. Another scan. I don't, okay. I don't honestly know who scanned there. That was Chilonge scanning. Wait, no, it wasn't. Was it? No. Yes. It's unclear. When Terrans fight Terrans, the lines become blurred, especially if your eyes hurt from all the scans. Radiation damage. Oh, he went for the main! The army! Despite all its cardio workout, the counter jump. But guess what? If you jump in, you can't jump out. He's committed. Yamato Valley across the board. Oftentimes, he doesn't have enough. The battle cruisers are wiped from the sky. The split-second choice to defend is a disastrous one. The rest of the army is going to waddle at max speed back. But unfortunately, the entire main will be obliterated, glassed by the laser batteries. Fully upgraded battlecrew. Here comes the anti-armor missile, some Dorito dust. But how much does that matter? It doesn't do any damage. It just makes it easier to do so. And the Ravens will now be taken out. The Thor is trying to figure it out. Thor is not the most agile of units. If battlecruisers are flying laser bathtubs, then Thors are just straight up bathtubs, and neither is particularly maneuverable, and only one can shoot while moving. There are turrets all over the place. He does have high-sec auto tracking. More Yamato's gonna hit the orbital command. Wait, actually, how many command? He only has 2 orbitals, and that's one of them. Here comes the Thor, though. Each of those shots doing a ton of damage to the battlecruisers. He's trying to microwave the Thor flank. He jumps. What a dodge!
What a save!
DeathOmen. The maneuverability is there. He jumps over the top of the Thors. He's sniped all on today's episode of Will It Burn? We have the last command center of Chilonge. He's building a new one, but that's his last one that's currently mining. He's down to 15 workers. The battlecruiser's doing so much. This is Bronze League Heroes. This is the match you're all expecting to see. The only question is, how does it end? Does DeathOmen finish him off, or do the Thors, already 2 more battlecruisers going down, it will not burn. There are SCVs all over the place. The thing is, Chilonge has money in the bank. DeathOmen has expanded behind this. Some big plays. Wait, that's his natural. He floated another command center. As both these players have seemed to reach their CC quota. And it would require another CC and the security code to download more. Those SC, so here's a fun actual learning fact. Actual fact with learning warning, by the way. Did you know repair only costs 1/4 of the cost of a unit? It is not 1-to-1. For example, a supply depot at 1 HP, repaired to full, only costs 25 minerals. But it does also cost gas. So a battlecruiser will cost 175 in order to repair from 1 HP to full. So it's almost always better to repair as opposed to rebuild. It does not matter how many workers are repairing. It just matters how quickly, which means the money gets spent faster. So, now we've all taken a swing at one another, but everybody's been a little bit tuckered out. So, we're all going to go back. We're going to take a breather. We're going to go get hyped up by our friends that are sitting behind us at the LAN party because we couldn't figure out how to get a LAN connection going because StarCraft 2 does not have the technology for LAN support. And we're just cheering each other on the ladder. It's very wholesome. Chilonge still has the Thors. DeathOmen, the battlecruisers, and also Marines, by the way. The upgrades are a bit confusing. The command center count is 2 command centers to 3-ish. The bases are, well, Chilonge's base is in tatters. He's going to reestablish his old add-ons here. Factories are coming back up. Almost all of his tech was reset. The battlecruisers, the thing about the battlecruisers is that many Thors plus some turrets are enough to take out the cruisers. With a little bit of miss micro or maybe a less than smart tactical jump, then the cruisers can be dispatched, even with their upgrades. Alright, who's scanning? It's DeathOmen. He's looking. He's watching. He's not seeing, though. But wait. Of course. If only there was a situation where they jump into the turrets! The Thors are on the way down! He finds a base, and he wants a base. That's the summary. Here come the Thors. The factories will be taken out. He's already on the move. More turrets, though. He did not expect the flanking turrets. No one ever does. The Thors have been inspired to move forward. Is he going to try to fire those Yamato cannons? Unfortunately, one battlecruiser goes down. The Marines are there to pump up the Thors and also maybe chip the paint on some of those battlecruisers, thus increasing maintenance costs. and decreasing morale. Thor is still blasting through, and he's not Yamatoing. He's taking splash and single target. The Yamatos are good, but the battle cruiser's being blown out of the sky. The Thor high impact, a pretty direct counter to just battle cruisers on their own. And suddenly the battle cruiser count is severely reduced. The Marines are trying their best. He has 2-2, but those are Thors. So Chilonge, wait, a jump. He jumps more battle cruisers in as reinforcements to the battle group of cruisers, which is a thing you can do. But Chilonge is now building his own cruisers once again. Is he on the battle cruisers? They're not. Oh, he sees them. But does he see him? We'll go to the Chilonge action cam. He just canceled an engineering bay in favor of building an engineering bay. The Thors are moving to defend. Was it an A-click? Yes, it was! He finds more pot shots on the cruisers. DeathOmen trying to hold it together. 3 Marines very ambitiously are going to engage the battle cruisers. Very brave. Also very dumb. Oftentimes the opposite of mutually exclusive. Some of the battle cruisers jump into the flanking turrets! Not again! And they will go to the main, where there are more Marines. The battle cruisers are all over the place right now, and the Thors are hot on their heels if they had them. Oh, the flanking turrets take out 2 more cruisers. DeathOmen is just trying to finish the fight. But Chilonge refuses to surrender. Oh, a lot of those Thors are badly bruised, but so are the battle cruisers. And Thors technically outrange the battle cruisers. Of course, they can... Oh, wait, Chilonge has battle cruisers now. Look who's back. Oh, those turrets. Those turrets. The TPM paying off. Oh, where do you go? He already jumped in. Once again, that of course means you can't jump out. The flanking turrets will claim more cruisers. Oh, is there a Yamato? A Yamato will finish one. He's lining it up. The cannon is charged. He's lining it up. And he gets it. There's more cruisers. DeathOmen is running out of real estate. More flanking turrets! Oh, he jumps. He jumps all the way home. Only 2 survivors. A classic mistake. Possibly one of the most cliche sci-fi movie tropes, or just general movie tropes. Oh, we have it. We got it under control. Just go. Just send everybody. Let's finish this. We can't wait 2 minutes for reinforcements to show up. We got all we need. Let's go. And then suddenly disaster strikes, and we enter the second act of the movie. 33 minutes in. Three upgrades for everything left on the ground here for DeathOmen. Chilonge is holding on. The units lost is surprisingly small. Chilonge obviously with a laundry list of buildings. The struggle though for DeathOmen to make good on his name. He's now heavy on the Marines because he's actually ran out of gas. He's been inspired. He, in fact, are those the Wings of Liberty Collector's Edition Thors, or do I have that mistaken? Because those aren't the bladed ones. Those aren't the same pack. Yeah, they might be. Chilonge building up. Slowly, very slowly. He's re-raising the TPM. And I'll say, those turrets have paid off with dividends. The turrets in flanking locations. The Liberators will focus on the Marines first, meaning the Thors are okay for now. What's the play? DeathOmen is down to none mining base. He was looking so good. He only has 6,800 minerals in the bank. Chilonge's not mining a huge amount either, but the battle cruisers will finish off the orbital command. The army supplies, well, still super high for both sides. Is this the main? Of course. Last orbital. Both sides with... Oh, wait, there's 2 orbitals here. A scan. He spots the army. Who wins this fight? That is a great question. We're about to find out who gets the Armados. High impact mode. Liberation zones at the back. Thors blasting through. Will they be distracted by the Marines underneath? The Marines have pretty good upgrades, but the Thors are blasting through the battlecruisers. Stim is used. Every battlecruiser for Chilonge is down. I lied. Another one comes up. The Thors are trying to hold. There are some Thors here for DeathOmen, and it looks like DeathOmen will hold on. He loses all his battlecruisers, but Thors are here, and Thors counter Thors. Even more than battlecruisers. And suddenly, that's it. It's all over. DeathOmen embraces the power of Thor's hammers and strikes home a victory. That's it. It just ends there. Chilonge had his army. It was crushed alongside his spirit. That is one of, well, no twist here. The Empire strikes and wins. Was that the summary of what Bronze League Heroes is? Did it require the twist ending of Chilonge somehow coming back? Remember, I remind you, DeathOmen was the one who was smashed early on. But he built up his battlecruisers. He jumped in. And then he gutted Chilonge's base. But who was the hero? Who was the villain? And who was the real winner? Hopefully you, the fans. But if you're watching this and you didn't just skip to the end like a coward, like and subscribe and ring the bell. YouTube is big about that. It's kind of annoying. They give me a lot of notifications about people not ringing the bell enough. So even though you could be like, well, they know I'm going to put out a video every day. Every day. It's like, no, you gotta annoy them about it. So get on that. But what do you think? Either way, thank you to FFT Private for judging that match. And thank you for watching Bronze League Heroes.